Hey guys, I'm Kevin, and I'm going to show you how to make my braised brisket chili. Perfect. Alright, so the first step in making this chili is we have to braise our brisket. So for that, we're going to start off by grabbing some onions, some celery, and some carrots, a little bit of garlic, and we're going to cut that up. So this is a braise, so we don't really need to worry too much about the size of our vegetables. It's all going to be cooked for about 5 hours. And it's going to get strained out at the end. With the garlic, just going to take the flat of your knife, smash them down a little bit. So now I got about 3 pounds of brisket. So we're just going to look that over and clean it up if we need to. So if you got any little extra fats on there, take that off. A little extra silver skin, take that off. Then we're just going to cut it into manageable size. Doesn't really matter, as long as it's mostly consistent. Alright, now we're going to generously salt and pepper both sides. Alright, so we got a big pan going on the stove. We got it on high heat. I'm going to add a little bit of oil. I use grapeseed oil. It's high smoke point and it doesn't have a lot of strong flavor. And we're just going to do a little bit of butter in there. Alright, so I got my butter and my oil heating up right now. All the butter is melted and it's starting to sing, which means that the water is coming off of the butter and evaporating right now. And once that stops, we know we're ready. All right. We're going to place our meat in the pan. You don't need to fit it all in at once. It's actually better not to. You don't want to crowd your pan, because we want to get a nice sear on it. And if you crowd it, you're just going to steam it. You want to get a nice sear on it right there. That caramelization is where your flavor is going to come from. Alright, now that we got a nice sear on both sides, we're going to transfer that into a pan. Any oven-safe baking dish with high edges will work just fine. Ah, beautiful. All right, now that the last bit of our meat is done, take all that out into our pan. Then we take our bowl of vegetables that we cut up earlier, carefully put those in. Important to remember when you're doing your vegetables to not shake the pan and stir it too much. You want to form a crust on there. So you want to leave your stuff cooking without moving as long as possible. So we're just trying to get a little bit of caramelization onto these vegetables. Okay, we're trying to get nice little browns on there. And that's going to put all sorts of flavor into this braise. Alright, once our vegetables are looking nice and roasty, and we turn down our heat, we're going to add our vegetables to the pan. We turn our pan to the heat. And we're going to take 2 cups of red wine. And then take a wooden spoon. And we're just going to run that over the bottom of the pan. Bring up all that good stuff that got stuck to the bottom. This is called deglazing. Alright, so we've scraped our bottom. Our wine is reduced by about half. We're going to kill the heat. We're just going to pour that right over the top of our meat and vegetables. Alright, now the little finishing touches on this. I have some ancho chilies, which are dried poblano peppers. So we're just going to kind of work the depending on the size, 2 or 3 of them down around the meat, so they're in the liquid. We're going to do the same with 3 bay leaves. Kind of mix them around in there. Then we're going to take a big old pinch of thyme and spread that around. Then we take a little beef stock and we're going to put some beef stock in just until the meat's covered about 3/4. All right, we'll top it off with some parchment paper. Seal it up with some aluminum foil. And we'll do a 350-degree oven for about 5 hours. So you can see the meat is nice and tender, comes apart. What we're going to do now, we're going to pull all the meat out. We're going to pull our peppers out with it. And we're going to take all of our nice braising jus and we're going to strain it over the meat. Give that a shake. Don't press on it. We don't want chunks. And we're just gonna kind of arrange the meat so it sinks into the juice. We're gonna take this, stick it in the fridge, and we'll use it tomorrow.
Do you want me to start over?
No, it's fine.
They'll edit it out.
Edit it out. Edit it out. Don't put this part in. Don't put this part in. All right, so we have our brisket that we braised off yesterday, and it is now resting in the fridge, ready to go for today. And now we are going to build the rest of the chili. So we're going to start off by cutting off the vegetables again. We have 3 onions. I got 4 stalks of celery, and I got 5 cloves of garlic. So we're just going to cut that up real quick. We're going for a smaller dice than we did yesterday. Today it actually matters because we're going to keep this stuff in the soup. So we're going to go with a nice, about 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch cut on everything, except for the garlic. You're going to want to mince that. All right, we got our stock pot. Let's get it turned on to medium heat. Just going to add a little bit of oil. And now we wait. Pot is hot. We got the oil going in there. So now we're just going to add our veggies. It's been about 2 minutes now. Onions are starting to turn translucent. Everything's getting nice and tender. Smells wonderful. Now we're going to add our spices. It's important to add your spices before you add in your liquids because you want to toast your spices a little bit. So 3 tablespoons of chili powder, about 3 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, and about 1.5 tablespoons of coriander. Mix all that up. Get it down in that oil and let it get toasty. Chopped tomatoes in their juices, right in the pot. We're going to take those 2 cans that we had tomatoes in, fill them up with water, into the pot. I have 2 cans of kidney beans that I've drained and rinsed, into the pot. 3 bay leaves, into the pot. The secret, 1 cinnamon stick, into the pot. Season. So you may be wondering, why did we make the brisket yesterday and why did we put it in the fridge? Couple reasons. 1, after you cook it and let it rest, all that juice that you let it marinate in is going to suck into it. That's going to be a lot of flavor. 2, all the fat from our braise comes to the top. You stick it in the fridge and then it solidifies. It makes it really nice and easy to pull out. Now we're going to cut up our brisket into manageable pieces, bite-sized pieces. So there really is no wrong way to do it. If you want big chunks, put on some big chunks. If you want it a little smaller, cut it a little smaller. All right, we have all the meat that we cut up. You guessed it, into the pot. All right, so we have our braising jus, and we have those peppers that we saved from yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel the skin off of our peppers is we're going to take our braising jus that has our pepper pulp in it, and we're going to puree it all together. All right, we have our braising jus, and we have our pureed peppers in there. Into the pot. Cover it, turn it down to a low simmer, and we let it go. Been simmering for about 2 hours now. Looking pretty good. I think it's time to eat it. I know it's a little extra work, but it's totally worth the wait. Thanks for watching.